I'm Scott Less. Welcome to Less is More Lounge TV. Once again, we're live upstairs, top of the Regency Ballroom, downtown San Francisco. Very excited to bring this next artist in. We're here with Otep. Thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thanks for having me, brother.
First of all, congratulations, the new CD, Smash the Control Machine. Very powerful, great sounding record. When you're writing songs, especially like the title track, where do you get some of your inspirations to write songs that are so compelling and really very important?
Sure, thanks. I'm very proud of that song, by the way. It started probably right around the last 2 years of the Bush administration.
And, good place to find inspiration.
Yeah, and as we started to see the economy falter, we started to see unemployment rates skyrocket, and you started to see a lot of the pundits blaming the working class, which infuriated me because I come from the working class. I still consider myself working class. It started to affect relatives and friends of mine. They lost their homes, they have families, they lost their jobs, and these are just, you know, the working Joe, you know, we heard a lot about that in the last election. So I started out trying to, that's good, nice.
Right on cue.
We're not filming. So I started trying to absorb those items and put them into a place where people could scream about them and they could talk about them and and smear it a little bit with sarcasm. But as things do in the Otep world, the idea started to blossom out just a bit beyond what everyday control machines are. In fact, the title "Smash the Control Machine" comes from a William Burroughs poem. The line, I believe, is "Smash the control objects, smash the control machine." I'm a big Burroughs fan, so that struck me as very meaningful at the moment. And again, as things do, they often do, they have layers and they blossom out. And it occurred to me that there are more types of control machines other than just the government, just politics, just the economy, just CEOs. They're the control machines that keep us tethered, personal ones that we invite into our lives, whether they be relationships, bad relationships, whether they be drugs, whether they be alcohol, whether they be insecurities and self-esteem issues that keep us tethered from reaching our full potential. And so in order for us to, you know, reach that promised capacity, we must smash the control machines.
And out of everything that you do, you're extremely busy, from the spoken word things that you do, to the poetry that you do, to the spoken word that you do, to the live performances and the music that you do. Which out of all those things do you really get the most pleasure out of, if you can really pinpoint one of those things?
It's hard because each serves a different purpose, you know. When I'm writing, I'm able to sort of escape myself and become the narrator and perhaps see things that I don't, that others do, or maybe allow others to see what I see and what they don't. Live performance sews all of those things together for me and gives this internal universe an external life. So it really depends on, yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm probably most happiest on stage. There's just a spiritual intercourse with the universe. There's just really nothing like it, you know.
And it seems like you really get more passion from the fans that are right there. You know, the pit going insane like it was tonight. It seems like you really get a sense of energy, and almost like you forced that upon them. Like there's this give and take between you.
There's some, you know, each audience is different. There are some audiences that really, maybe this is their first introduction to liberating music, and so they don't really know what to do. And so that you have to, as with any sort of mental or spiritual intercourse, you have to massage it, you have to, you know, let it lubricate a little and let them feel the bonds breaking, and then they can be free. But sometimes they have to be sort of coaxed into it, and sometimes it's just a free-for-all. It's a mental riot. They're there to go with us to wherever we're going, and you know, it's a give and take. It's this, they push, we pull, we push, they pull, and it's a beautiful experience.
And on the latest CD release, Smash the Control Machine, with Otep, as we're speaking with Otep today inside of the Less is More Lounge, it seemed like it was an important consistency to bring in some former players back into the band. Sitting and writing and recording, was that something that you really thought you really wanted to bring in some players who kind of know you personally?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it. I think The two guys you're referring to is Moke on drums and Rob on guitar, and we wrote, along with Jay, the bass player, we wrote the first record together. And Jay is kind of aside from being one of my very best friends, is just a musical genius. The guy, he's classically trained, he's got a degree at Berkeley, and he writes a lot of the guitar riffs, and because he is in the rhythm section, he has a lot of influence on the percussion too. So he and I have written a lot of the stuff together, but when we had the opportunity to write the fourth record, and we needed a guitar player and we needed a drummer, I had stayed friends with Rob and Moke all these years, and so it just seemed right. You know, I don't know, it just seemed like it was album 4, why not? And so I reached out to them, and it was just going to be one song at first. I said, hey, why don't we write a song together? You know, I bet the fans would really love it. I'd love to work with you guys again. And, you know, their response was, why don't we do the whole thing? And so once we got into the studio, yeah, I know. Once we got in the studio together, it was just magic. It was like we'd never been apart, and it was so much fun. We wrote and recorded this record in 2 months.
Wow.
2 months.
Amazing. It's so in-depth.
Yeah.
If you really go, you know, lyrical.
Well, the producer was great too, man. You know, Ulrich Wilde is just an incredible, you know, artist. And he and I were in the studio every day, 12 to sometimes 23 hours a day, 6 days a week, for 2 months solid, just building and crafting this thing. And it was probably one of the most rewarding experiences of my entire life. I'm really proud of it. I really am.